One must pause and kneel at the threshold of the door with no knocker. For if prompt, the doorman is expecting you, and if not, knocking is of no avail. The doorway is low, you best be humble. You can be an elaborate mirror and reflect one last time before you enter, although the clamor on the other side is born of your imagination, not the crowd's. For no one awaits you there. For there may be movement, but no one who moves. No ghosts, no spirits, no holy men with sacred incense, no witches holding a magic staff, no cursed devil wearing bells and whistles, no collection of misguided opposing convictions. Only you are there, absolute existence, errant existence. For you will carry on in your absence, and your absence is the irrefutable reality of wonder. Your passing through the inescapable threshold is a drop among many in the endless, deep, dark. Alas, only if there was a verdict. Had there been the vim to listen, you could hear the sound of your falling echo in the dark arena of sunless galaxies, like a sudden collapse of desires unfulfilled. Only if there was a judge. But judgment is sitting on the other side of the door, free of sinister black robes. Its essence, wisdom and fairness, its form, time, and the memory of you will be judged again and again in the perpetuity of cosmos. Farewell, farewell, uttered the poet's dawn. Obliged, I stepped through this threshold, dancing, joyous, grateful. From outside, I have turned inside, from scenery to sight to the beholder. Not in the form of a plant or a butterfly, nor a rock or a pond, I was born in the form of us, the splendid manifestation of humankind, so I could be mesmerized by the rainbow in the wings of a butterfly, on a flower in a spring bloom, and perceive the pride of the mountains and hear the glory of the oceans, so I know who I am and give meaning to the world as I am able to in this brief moment. For such existence is outside the reach of trees, birds, cliffs, and waterfalls. Being born human was a mandate. The capacity to love and be loved, the capacity to listen, the capacity to see and speak, the capacity to feel sorrow and joy, the capacity to laugh with the whole heart, the capacity to cry from the core of the being, the capacity to rise in pride at the glorious height of humility, the noble capacity to carry the weight of sincerity, and the doleful capacity to bear loneliness, 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 utter loneliness. Human existence was a grueling obligation. Had I been free, I would have relished every landscape with all my being. Every song, every spring, every bird, every full moon and every dawn, every peak, every tree, and every human. I lived with hands tied and voice hushed. We lived with hands tied and voices hushed and watched the grand stage of life through the insatiable window in our deprived prison, and now facing the door with no knocker as the doorman beckons. One last look at the narrow passage I leave behind. My time was brief and the journey demanding, but it was unique and perfect. Grateful and beholden with all my heart, so uttered the weary dawn.